Hello, welcome to Extra Connections. I'm James Lott Jr., and we're here to connect you with people, places, things, ideas, and stuff that is coming out. There is a feature coming out, Devil's Peak, starring Billy Bob Thornton, Robin Wright, and Jackie Earl Haley. It's coming out this Friday. Well, as this comes out tomorrow, or this Friday, how you want to say it, on February 17th. It'll be out in theaters. And I have one of the stars of the movie, and also somebody I've known for, like I said, for years. It's our first time back together in a long time. Griff Furst. Griff.
Yeah. Good to be back. It's been about 8 years, James, but it's good to be here with you.
We were in the studio back at AfterBuzz TV is when we saw each other first. Was in the studio, I believe.
It was. I like that studio. Yeah. But I like being in your home more. It feels more personal.
Yes. Well, I have my Baby Yodas over there. So yes, it's a big Baby Yoda over there.
It does. I like the wall as Baby Yoda green.
Yes, it is. But no, but this is actually the funny thing. I want to ask you just like, how have you been? Because I know you're busy working and stuff, but like we've had a pandemic since I've seen you, and we've had presidential change. We have a lot. This is 8 years. A lot of things have happened. Just how have you been?
I've been good. I mean, the pandemic was it was brutal, but it was good in some ways. I mean, it shut everything down and gave me a time to develop some cool new stuff. And so we took that 2 years or whatever it is and really worked on some screenplays and met with actors and directors and put together a slate of really cool projects so that when things open back up, we hit the ground running. It had a bit of the pandemic too. So it was productive all around.
Oh, you're productive. That's the way of putting it. Well, congratulations on Baby, of course, and all that. But I got several questions for you. Okay, well, the first thing, you are proof, talking about the way you're talking about the pandemic. I was trying to explain to people there were a lot of folks, even though physically the studios were shut down, there were things still happening behind the scenes. And I took a lot of calls during that time period. I had a lot of people saying we're gearing up for stuff. We're kind of working on the behind the scenes stuff or pre-production stuff, but we're not ready. We don't know when we're going to production. Like people like you were writing things, putting things together. It was like that was something that was still happening, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. It was just, not physical production took a pause. I mean, we were about to go into production on several things right when the pandemic hit. And we just, I mean, I'm a workaholic because I love my job.
Yes.
Right. So I never stopped, just really took that opportunity to say, okay, we can't keep pumping out movies or TV shows. So let's just make the stuff that we know we're going to do when this goes away. Let's make it as good as we can. And so tons of script revisions, attached actors, took the time to get actors to read the scripts, to sign on to them, and directors and all that stuff. So yeah, we try to turn the lemons into lemonade.
Yeah, or lemon drops, one of the two.
Yeah, a lot of lemon drops during the
pandemic. Well, you are the president of Curmudgeon Films, correct?
I am.
You guys produce stuff, so you're producing stuff, you're writing stuff, and I mean, you are a multi. We make jokes before us. You are a multi-hyphenate, so you do things, but you develop scripts and develop things, don't you?
I do. I'm not a very good dancer, but yes, all the other hyphenates I'm pretty damn good at.
Well, we can always work on that at some point. If you put your mind to it and have some lessons, you might be okay. You never know.
Yeah, I could. I could fake it. I met my wife at a bar and we were dancing, and so I acted well enough like a dancer to get her. So she still thinks I can dance.
As long as she sees you in rose-colored eyes or glasses, one or two, then you're good.
She does. She definitely does.
So now, so you have a baby. So a boy, girl.
It's a girl. I have a 9-year-old son, and then we had during the pandemic we had Stevie Dean first. Steven was my father's name. Dean is her father's name. So we, it's very in vogue right now to name your girl a boy's name. So we gave her two boys' names. Yeah.
I love it. Stevie Dean's she should be a singer. She has to be a singer.
She might be. She likes music a lot.
See? She has to be a singer.
Yeah, she's got the beat already. She can dance. She can bob her head. She doesn't get that.
See it already. So I guess now I have 2 daughters, so you're a girl dad. So now welcome to the girl dad stuff.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fun. Daughters, I'll tell you, are very different than sons, and it's a whole different experience. And as a man, it got me more in touch with my emotions having a daughter. So I'll be ready for that.
I'm ready. She's the cutest thing ever, but she's tough because she has a 9-year-old brother that beats the crap out of her. So she's a tough one.
She'll be great. All right, so let's talk about this film that's coming out. It's called Devil's Peak. And so tell us about who do you play and Tell us about that. Tell us what you can tell us. Obviously,
I'm not in the movie. Actually, I am in the movie, but it's a cameo. Yeah, I produced this movie. I put this whole one together.
Yes, okay.
The next one I am in, the next one I have coming out is with Morgan Freeman. I am in that one.
It's about that too. Yes, it's about that also.
But this one, it's a story about murder. It's a story about a father played by Billy Bob Thornton, who's deep into crime, and he has a son who is coming of age and does not want to follow in his father's footsteps. And it's about him trying to break that cycle of crime and violence at all costs. It's a really tense drama. Billy Bob kills it. Robin Wright's also does great. This is one of these pandemic babies. Like, we started working on it before the pandemic. And we really took the time. We did some script revisions. We did some soft pre-production before it. And we got Billy Bob to read the script. He came on board, which greenlit it. And then we were off and running. It was a great little product of the pandemic. It gave us time to really focus and get the people involved that we needed to get involved to make the movie happen.
Well, Billy Bob, of course, is a Oscar-winning screenwriter.
He is.
So did he help with some of the revisions, or was it just more of him just coming? I mean, how's that work?
Oh no, he helped with the revisions, really to his character. He's respectful of the other cast and his character, but his character is huge. He's in every scene. He's got these big, beautiful, Sling Blade-esque speeches, even though his character's nothing like the Sling Blade. Right. Sling Blade, actually, which he won the Oscar for, was its 25th anniversary while we were shooting. And we were shooting in Atlanta, and right outside of Atlanta, there was a film festival honoring that picture. And so we all went with him. We watched Sling Blade on the theater, and then he did a Q&A afterwards, and he just slipped right back into Sling Blade for like a good 20 minutes. He just stayed in character. That was cool. But he's very much a writer, and he would he works just as hard as anybody else. He'd go home after work, and he'd come back the next morning, and he'd say, I have some stuff here. And it was brilliant. And so a lot of his dialogue is tweaked by him. The script was great, so not everything, but a lot of the time his big speeches, and if there's something personal to his character, he would come back with kind of a new monologue that was fire.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, that's the thing is, it ain't on a page, it ain't on a stage, so it always starts with the writing. That's where everything begins. That's the genesis, the nucleus of every production you ever do, television, film, short film, doesn't matter. It's the script. It's the script.
It is the script. Yeah, it's fun when I first started doing this. Mainly as an actor, I get a script, and even if it wasn't good, I was so optimistic. I'd be like, you know what, the filmmakers are cool. Maybe this will turn into something great. Now I'm the exact opposite. It's like if I read a script that's not good, I'm like, there's no way this is going to be anything, and then I don't do it. Which I wish I would have learned that lesson like 10 years ago. Well, I did about 20 years ago. I wish I would have learned that lesson because you can't do it without script.
But Griff, sometimes even if it looks like a good script and you see the problem, it's weird sometimes, right? You've been in this business long enough for filmmaking that sometimes you think, okay, well, in the editing room or this, they'll make it'll be great, and then you see it and you're like, oh. Or you may get something it seems great, then you're like, oh. I mean, you know how it is, right?
Yeah, no, it totally doesn't work in reverse. It's like a great script can turn into a bad movie real quick.
Yes.
But I think it's statistically extremely unlikely for a bad script to turn into a good movie.
That's true. That's right. You're right.
Unless it's got a lot of stuff. Like Jonah Hex is a great example. I had like 4 callbacks for that movie. I read the script. I was telling my agent, I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever read. Best script. It was written like Deadwood, kind of like Shakespearean. Right. So I went on opening day to see that movie in the theater. And I was like, what happened? None of what I read is the actual movie.
Crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, you know this business. So that's good. Okay, so so good ride. We got that going. Good. So Billy Bob Thornton, Oscar winner. Robin Wright, Emmy winner. Also television legend, especially. How's it working with? Just working with these big artists who come in. Because you said you have to have them to greenlit get projects greenlit. You need a name usually, or two. You know how hard it can be without it. But you have especially these 2 names. Well, Jackie Earl Haley also has been around for a long time. Emmy, Oscar nominee. All kinds of stuff. So how's it working with folks like that?
I love it. In my experience, people who are that level of stars, call them A-list stars. They have something special. They have a ton of charisma that kind of sparkle behind their eye, and they're usually extremely special people. And so I live for it. I mean, I love working with them, like the Michael Keatons, the Will Smiths. It's like some of the most gracious and best people I've ever worked with, because I think they're in that position for a reason. So I've only had great experiences with huge stars. I feel it, and I kind of get their sensitivities too, or not even their sensitivities, but just because I grew up with an actor, and at the time when I was a kid, he was pretty famous, and he come to him all the time. So a lot of them actually remind me of my father too. I mean, just in terms of what they need to be able to perform in the kind of environment that we need to create for them to do their best work. But yeah, I love the big stars. I mean, not only to get the project made, but they're exceptions in general.
Yeah. His dad, Stephen Furst, obviously many things, Animal House, all kinds of. He was big. He was big. I remember my teenage years. I mean, that's like my teenage years right there. So yes, we know who he is. So that's kind of cool. But actually, all that is kind of cool to say that you're pretty well rounded in the business to get the business, aren't you? Like you're pretty well rounded. You kind of get how the business works, how people are, how you get it because you've been in it.
Yeah, I like to think so. I mean, it's what I know best because I did grow up on set and from really big movies when I was a kid with my father, whether it was The Dream Team or St. Elsewhere or whatever, and seeing how that functions, and then doing a bunch of low budget movies and seeing how that functions or dysfunctions, and how to blend the two. But yeah, I tend to do them from start to finish, from the development of the screenplay to the legal delivery of the entire movie, which is a whole beast in and of itself. But yeah, I love it.
You are a great example of it. When I used to work in corporate, the whole thing of cross training, make sure you know all the parts of the business. Like you might be somebody like that. Like you just know all the parts. You know all the parts of the business. Like bits and pieces of all the stuff. So that's good.
Yeah, you kind of forced to when you do the smaller movies, which I did a lot of them. It's like you don't really have any help. You don't have the resources. You don't have the money. So you end up having to do everything from pulling focus to, doing the final credits list at the end. It's like, let me just do it all.
Mm-hmm. Craft services, everything.
Yeah, everything. I prefer not to, but in a pinch, I can grab a camera.
Okay, see, that's good. That's good. Very good. So that comes out. It comes out on Friday. So I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on that project. Devil Speaks coming out Friday, theaters everywhere. I guess after that it'll be VOD and stuff after that, correct?
Yeah. So on February 24th, you're going to see it pop up on wherever you see movies, Apple, Hulu, all that stuff. It'll be for rent, and it'll be probably in the now in theaters section. So it should be right there on the homepage.
Good. There. Very good. Giving birth to these movies is like giving birth to babies. It's like you get them out there and you got to let them see what they do.
Oh yeah. I'm so ready to get them out of my body at this point. It's like what I imagine being 10 months pregnant is just get out, because I have other babies to take care of.
Oh my God, you get it out. I like that. That's hilarious. But anyway, you mentioned, because I do want to mention this, you did a film with Morgan Freeman.
I did.
Can you talk about any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. That one's coming out on September 28th. Right now, we're trying to figure out which festival it's going to premiere at. Maybe Fantasia in Canada, maybe Fantastic if we didn't miss that deadline. Anyways, we're finding a cool festival for that. Josh Hutcherson, another incredible actor. Yes, he's the lead of it. Morgan plays his mentor. He has a huge role in it too. It's a really cool sci-fi script it's based on a book about a guy who finds a ring that allows him to reset time 57 seconds. And it kind of takes him on a bit of it changes his life in a good way, but of course it takes him on a downward spiral quickly thereafter. So it's a really trippy sci-fi movie. My buddy Rusty Cundiff directed it. Rusty did Tales from the Hood and Fear of a Black Hat. Yeah, I love Rusty. And he did a fantastic job with that too. I'm really excited about that one.
So here's what's funny about that. Do I have that? So I found, I don't have it with me. I found a Netflix DVD, and it's in a packaging. So I was going to send it back. I just found it. It has Tales of the Hood in it.
Nice.
I was going to say I had to sit next to my desk here. It's not here now. I must have moved it, but I'm sending it back to Netflix. I mean, it's like from years ago. So I just sent it back in. I guess I'm gonna send it back in. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna send it back in, I guess. But it was Tales from the Hood.
Yeah, you probably paid for that DVD already. You might as well just keep it. I love Tales from the Hood.
Me too.
I watched that so much when I was a kid, and I produced number 2 and 3.
I was saying, yes, you did.
I was so pumped to do it because it was like I was just such a huge fan of that franchise and of Rusty's in general. So
yeah, you had like a full circle moment kind of with that doing 2 and 3. It's kind of like that's you from watching it to actually producing sequels.
It happens all the time. I just did it again with I made a sequel to Half Baked, the Chappelle.
That's right. That's right.
Again, that was one. It came out in 98 or 99 when I was a senior in high school. And it's like we love that movie. I watched it so much. So getting to write on the sequel and then produce it with some good people and good friends, it was awesome.
That's so great. Wait, okay. So well, with Half Baked, I'm really curious. How do you? I mean, so what do you go? I like this movie, Half Baked. We all saw it. We all saw it back in the day before Station got big and everything. We saw it. But how do you come years later? You go, well, what's the process with that? I've always been curious. I never asked anybody that. With the process of doing a sequel to something that you liked.
Right. That one was that's a little different because I do the independent movies like Devil's Peak or 57 Seconds where we conceive the idea or we acquire the story that it's based on from scratch. Right. That Half Baked is owned by Universal. And I work a lot with Universal. Half Baked is my 7th feature that I produce for them. Okay. And so they'll call me, we'll have a meeting, they'll talk about the properties they're interested in doing, and what aligns with what I'm interested in. And so when that one came on the table, immediately I was like that one, I want to do that one. And that was another pandemic thing where we were meant to start shooting that in March of 2020. Oh, wow. Greenlit and we were going, and then that got shelved for about a year and a half, but we had a year and a half to work on the script. And I think the script is hilarious. I love the script for that movie. Because it's a year and a half of unplanned time we had to develop the script.
Yeah, starring Frankie Muniz, of course. That's very interesting.
Yeah, Frankie's in it too. As some of the original
Courtney, Harlan Williams, Jeff Ross, names we all know.
Dexter Darden, I think, is a huge star. He's a really special dude. He's actually the lead of the movie, and he's awesome.
Okay, wow, I love that. That's just so funny. I'd have to ask a Morgan Freeman question. So, I mean, he's my voice idols, just acting people. Well, what was like being in his presence? I mean, I know he's a regular person like everybody else, but what is it like to be around someone who does hold such reverence for a lot of people?
Man, I mean, Morgan, he's such a legend. I mean, most people think of him and look at him like God.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that stereotype for a reason. I worked with Morgan briefly on Now You See Me Too. He was awesome on that. And he was great. He was great on this too. Morgan is very quiet. He shows up. He knows it. I mean, he had big speeches in this movie. Nailed them. And he surprises me by how young he is in spirit. Like there's a moment in the movie where a gun goes off and he hits the ground. And leading up to that scene, we're like, okay, we have a stand-in for him. We have a stunt double over here. We have to be prepared. And during rehearsal, Rusty, the director, goes bang. And he's on the floor, and we're like, "Whoa, you good with that?" And he was fine. He's good. So he's super spry. He's got a great team too. He worked his company co-produced the movie with us, and so we did a lot of work on the script together. He has a great team behind him too. But man, I would work with. I'm working on a script right now with an incredible role for Morgan, a huge twist surrounding his character. So I'm excited to get back at it with him again. He's an awesome actor.
That's very cool. See how busy he is. People call him because that's how busy he is.
I thought I'd turn that ringer off. It's my Apple. Like, everything rings when my phone rings.
I know mine too. Don't say because Apple.
Yeah, it was my watch. My other laptop is like everything starts going crazy.
But it shows you're busy. That you're working. The pandemic did hit. It was so weird, and for some people, it was a reset and a recalibration of what they were doing. But you sounds like to me, it just was like, okay, we're going to work differently. I still want to do this. What keeps you in the game all these years? What keeps you here?
Man, that's a good question. There's a lot of things outside this industry that I would like to do, but. And sometimes these movies are so hard that when I get done with one, I feel like I need a break. But I love storytelling, and I love coming together with a new group of 100+ people. That's like your instant temporary family to create something and everybody working towards a common goal. So once I'm out of production, like when I'm in productions, there's no sleep. It's so tough that I can't wait to get into post because I'm more a master of my own schedule. But after like 4, 6, 8 weeks of not being in post or not working on a new story, I'm just drawn. Like I haven't been in production since Half Baked, which wrapped a couple months ago. And so tonight I'm staying up and I'm working on this script that's going to be one of the new ones, just because I just love the whole process of storytelling. So it's just like it's in me, It's like I love making movies.
Yeah, I like that. Also, folks at home, getting into festivals is a lot of work. There's a lot of having to fill out forms and this and that and meeting deadlines. A lot that goes. So when you see somebody says they got into this festival, that festival, please praise them, because we know it's tough. There's a million festivals out there, different kinds of rules. Some have different pricing, some have different this, that. So all kinds of all these different things that go on. So I know you're saying you get to a festival, and I know it's not easy.
No, it's not. And the programmers, they only have a certain I think it's like 4,000 movies a year get made, and they have a very limited amount of spots. So if you're getting to a festival, it's a big deal for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's a very, very big deal. It's great talking to you, Griff. You're always great to talk to you. Hopefully it'll be another 8 years.
Yeah. Let's talk when 57 seconds or half.
Please.
Let's reconnect.
Yeah, but no, I would definitely. That is definite. But the movie we're talking about right now is Devil's Peak. It is coming out on Friday, February 17th. So that's in a couple days in theaters. Check your local listings. Make sure you go. If they want to find you online or find your company online or anything, where should they go?
All the usual suspects: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's just my name, Griff Furst.
Now, for folks who are listening to this, because there's also audio, is GRIFFURST. So make sure you say that. So
that's right.
You spelled it. We were talking about earlier, spelling all these different ways. So that's the way to spell it. If you look into and
there's a couple different imposters on those sites too. So the one that's actually me is the 6-year-old me wearing a Run DMC sweater. That's how you know it's me.
That's very cool. I like that. Oh my goodness. Everybody, I'm James Lott Jr. This is Extra Connections. Always follow us. We're on Facebook, Extra Connections, JLJ Media, all over the place. This is also on audio, so we're on every streaming service platform you can think of, from Apple to Google to Spotify, all that. And of course, the granddaddy of them all, my YouTube channel, JLJ Media. We'll see you next time.